You taught me to lie and say that I'm fine, like I don't feel nothing.
Hey guys, this is Ryan with TheRut.com. We're sitting in with Ben Danaher today. We're going to talk about the life and times and what's going on with him. Ben, what's up? Good to have you here.
How you doing?
Good, man. It's good to see you. Welcome back to Texas.
Thank you.
We're sitting with Ben. He played last night. First time on the big stage at Green Hall.
Yeah, my friend Ben made a comment on my Instagram post. He's like, "They have other stages." I was like, "You don't understand, man. They'll put you in any room in that place.
They'll put you on the back porch.
Yeah.
If you need to. So I want to start with like the last 18 months of your life and what's been going on, because it's been I've known you for how long? We've known each other a long time.
20 years. Probably,
early college,
yeah.
and. In the last 18 months of your life, it seems like it's blown up and things have started going in the right direction.
I've been lucky to get a lot of opportunities lately. We put a record out in September. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen when we did it, and then we finally got it out, and it took a couple months, but just things start happen when you put things in the universe, I think.
So with Still Feel Lucky, that came out last September?
September the 7th, yeah. Those songs were kind of a collection over 4 or 5 years. When I first moved to Nashville, I was co-writing a lot. Obviously, I'd gone through some pretty heavy stuff, and so I wanted to make a record that told that story. I had most of the record ready. I was taking a lot of publisher meetings in Nashville with different people to try to land a publishing deal, because when I got there, I thought that was what you do, you know, and quickly found out that songs on the radio were not sad and slow. So it pushed me out of the equation a little bit. And so I took like a 3-month hiatus. I went to Vermont and lived with my grandmother, who was 94, and wrote a couple more songs in her basement when I was up there. And when I came back, I quit drinking, which is a big deal, and started cutting songs. And I had no idea how fast that record would come about, but I met a guy named Michael Webb. Well, I knew him for a while. It just turns out that he lived across the street from me. And so we went in and we started looking at YouTube videos of me with older songs with the band, and I think my perception was you had to go in and you had to like hire the first call guys in Nashville. That was like the format of things. But he was like, "Man, I know every guy in your band. I've played with them in different bands. Like, why don't we just hire them?" And so we went into his garage and rehearsed like 7-8 times, and then went in, tracked 7 songs in a day, and then did it all over again. And we had a record before we knew it, and I was scrambling to figure out how to put it out, and I met some really great marketing people, and then we kind of ran with it.
There's one song I really liked that it was on an older album. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But Silver Screen, that song's beautiful, well written. Like there's some lines in there. The line about Hepburn and James Dean, like you're just like, are you kidding me? That hadn't it's amazing when you hear a line like that hadn't been in a song before. Like, where did that one come from?
Well, that was co-written with a guy named Justin Halpin. When we got together, I was in a phase during that record. A lot of those songs are kind of like the acoustic guitar has like a definite like thing to it, like where they're like that little lick that goes through the verses is on there, or like Hell or High Water is the same thing. But like Justin and I got together, and I was just playing that for and we started talking about how hip Nashville was getting, and it was like all these old dive bars were getting run over by hipsters for the karaoke. You know, it was like they'd come in and they had their high-waisted jeans and they're singing Hall & Oates songs, and like all the old bar regulars are pissed off. And so we kind of conjured up a love story of America's 2 biggest hipsters falling in love in an East Nashville dive bar. Yeah, I credit Justin a lot on that. He had a lot of lyrical input.
Everybody's kind of got their Screw You song.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been, hosed over by a girl before. But Jesus Can See You, to me, like takes that to a whole nother level. What were you getting out in that song? What was...
Man, I was frustrated about a lot of different things when I wrote that with Josh. I wrote with Josh Greider and Drew Kennedy. And it was just in the middle of a volatile time in my life, and like things just got probably misinterpreted, and I was frustrated, and Josh and Drew happened to be in town, and so I was like venting, and there was a particular situation where Drew kind of picked it apart because he's like that kind of guy, and very attention to detail, and nothing will burn you more than the super self-righteous, hypocritical Christian. And so we had a good chat about it, and then ended up with the song really fast.
Tell me a little bit about Father's Blood and where. I mean, was that more of a therapy? What was going on with that?
Yeah, they all are. You know, that period of time in Nashville when I was up there, I wrote that with a guy named Eric Dillon, who's a great writer, and that was our first time to meet. And so I walked in and I was like, I got this idea, My Father's Blood, and I was trying to. It was basically such my father's son, you know, like thought. And I think he was like expecting to just write like another banger or something for the radio that day, and he was like, oh we're going there, you know, and like and we wrote it pretty quickly. But yeah, the vibe on that one, I was really lucky to have a father who was a songwriter, and so that was like getting a front row seat to all of the struggles and all of, like, I watched my dad play nursing homes or hometown festivals or wherever he could get on stage to do what he did, and to know, you know, big credit, you know, which was that was the most admirable part, I thought, was that he never had a gold record. He never had a song on like George Strait's album or anything like that. But we talked the last week of his life, and he was still holding the phone up to the speaker like, hey, you think Alan Jackson will cut this? And it's like, dude, you really care about awesome. Writing songs. And it was eye-opening to me. And so, and I see it a lot in myself whenever I'm traveling or if I'm doing things. It's like, and my sister makes fun of it a lot. She's like, you're a dad, you know? And like, and I'm proud of it, you know, because I thought he was a great guy.
You know, there's so many songs that have been written as like a tribute to someone or a tribute, but like that's just a whole nother spin on it. It was just, it's such a cool way to commemorate your dad, kind of, and commemorate what he's passed on. I think that's a really cool thing.
Thanks,
and
man. Thank you.
And I don't know your future plans, but I think that'll be one that like your kids will look at and think that's a really cool thing. The song I wanted to talk to you, and it wasn't on this album, it was on your I don't know if it was a full album or it was an EP before, but I'll Leave You Alone. It's, you know, it's a heartbreak. It's you know, prove that I don't matter type. You know, I think I don't know if that's the exact quote.
That's the vibe. Yeah, and ironically enough, that was written. I switched perspectives in my head on that. I was the one who broke up with that girl, and I wrote it from her perspective and what I thought she was feeling. But it was the same thing. It was like I couldn't, you know, if you really think that we're not meant to be together, then I want you to tell me. Like, I want you to look me in the eye and tell me, and then I'll drop it, you know? Yeah.